My name is Josh Sommer. I'm 22 years old, and I'm the executive director of the chordoma Foundation, trying to find a cure for a rare form of cancer called chordoma. In 2006, I was diagnosed with a chordoma in the very center of my head. It was pressing on my brainstem and wrapped around arteries. Had this tumor removed and unfortunately found out that it was chordoma, which has an average survival of 7 years, and beyond surgery, not really effective therapies. In some cases, radiation is effective, but if that fails, really there's no approved drug to treat this disease. And so my mother and I basically found those statistics unacceptable and started a foundation to try to change those statistics. And so the Chordoma Foundation was really founded as a way to give the researchers the resources that they needed, tissues, cell lines, animal models, to provide them funding that they needed to do their work, and to connect researchers, get them collaborating, and facilitate the flow of information and discoveries between labs in a real-time, rapid manner, as opposed to over years and years. I don't think chordoma is that unique, in that there are hundreds of rare cancers, and they're all facing the same challenges. They're all suffering for lack of cell lines. They're all suffering for lack of tissue. They all have fewer researchers studying them than ought to be studying them. They all are suffering for lack of funding. And if you think of them all as separate, rare entities, they're never going to get the sort of funding and attention that they deserve. But when you add them all up, they actually account for about 25% of all cancers. There's a huge opportunity for replicating a research model across all these rare cancers, not reinventing the wheel, not focusing one off, but trying to solve some systemic problems and put in some systemic solutions that are going to benefit all these rare cancers. I think there's an incredible amount to be learned from studying rare cancers, and an incredible amount that can be translated from studying rare cancers to understanding common cancers as well. When you first get confronted with the disease and you hear 7-year average survival, no effective chemotherapy, it's a really heavy burden. And trying to solve that can seem like a monumental challenge. But if you then break it down and realize that the reason that there's a 7-year average survival and no effective chemotherapy is because data isn't flowing between labs and researchers don't have the resources that they need, they don't have the funding that they need, well, all those problems are solvable. And if you just kind of take them one chunk at a time and figure out how all the pieces fit together, then I think it becomes much more manageable and much more tractable. Before I had the chordoma and went through this experience, I guess my worldview was somewhat different. I mean, I think you kind of get in almost in a procession or on a treadmill where you go to college and you get a job, and then you're kind of expected to do certain things with your life, and really causing systemic change isn't something that we necessarily think of as being possible for most people, or especially for young people that are in college or so forth. But when the stakes are so high, I guess it's made me reconsider that and realize that one person or one small group of really committed people can actually make an enormous difference. And a lot of the problems that may seem intractable are, with the right dedication, with the right group of people, are actually solvable.